Hello, my friends. This is Esther Nicholson, founder and director of Soul Recovery. Welcome to Soul Recovery, the Roadmap Home Masterclass, Module 2, Emotional Freedom Technique. First of all, the Emotional Freedom Technique, I believe, is one of the most powerful healing modalities in the soul recovery work that I do. What it is it is a technique that combines Chinese acupuncture and spiritual and emotional psychology. Just like you would go to an acupuncturist and they put needles in certain meridian points on your body to shift energy, we can actually do that with our fingertips on those same meridian points to shift negative energy, to heal traumatic memories, to uproot and dissolve limiting beliefs and emotions. And it's just really powerful, and it's especially powerful with all the other wonderful healing modalities that's included in the soul recovery process. So that's what Emotional Freedom Technique is. Yes? So now what it does, what are the benefits of it? There's so many benefits, but the benefits I would like to outline here for you are they have the ability to bring into our conscious focus those traumatic memories that we are not conscious of, that are submerged in our subconscious mind. So they bring to focus, they bring to awareness those traumatic memories that are holding us back. They support us in becoming aware of deep negative emotions that we're not even, that we've never articulated, that we've never verbalized. They give a voice to the unhealthy part of our ego, which I like to call the inner child. And they shift, and the Emotional Freedom Technique, it shifts that energy. It clears away the negative energy so that we can tap into the positive energy and the authentic self that has never been destroyed, but it has indeed been obstructed and covered up by limiting negative emotions, negative beliefs, and traumatic memories. So those are the benefits of the Emotional Freedom Technique. So why do we do Emotional Freedom Technique? We do it, and it's such an important part, it's such an important tool of soul recovery, because we are consciousness. We are made up of energy. We are consciousness, right? And we want to get to that part of the consciousness that we're not consciously aware of, that's holding on to traumatic memories and blocked emotions. So 60% of our consciousness is the subconscious mind, where not only are we holding on to amazing memories and happy memories and joyous memories, but we're also holding on to deep traumatic pain, memories of deep traumatic experiences, beliefs and perceptions that we hold around those experiences, and emotions that we hold around those experiences. And so we're operating this way from the subconscious mind, which is the driver of the conscious mind. So have you ever behaved in a way, or do you have a pattern that I know better than this? I know that I'm better than this. I know that I shouldn't do this. I know that this pattern is harming me. Addiction, right? And you have no idea why you do it. And you're trying with all your might, with the 40% of your conscious mind, to override the programming in your subconscious mind. It's never going to work, and it can't happen. Sigmund Freud used the analogy of the iceberg being one seventh of the iceberg being above water. The rest of the iceberg is below the surface, the unseen, where it's not visible. So most of the planet, I might say, is walking around thinking that they're conscious, thinking that they're awake, thinking that they're the drivers of their lives, and they are not. They are being driven by their perceptions, their memories, their beliefs, and their emotions, even if they are not aware of them. So I like to use the analogy of the computer, your PC or your laptop. If you have a virus in the hard drive, you're not going to be able to operate that system very efficiently. It's going to go crazy on your screen, you're losing files, it's slowing down, all of that, right? So the same thing is happening in our lives when we're trying to operate from a virus with a virus in the hard drive of our consciousness. So tapping really supports us in removing that virus, if you will, tapping out that energy, articulating the traumatic experiences, articulating and giving voice to that wounded or the appearance of that wounded part of ourselves. So it moves the energy and reveals what's real, the authentic self. I just love this process. Like I said, it is one of the most powerful healing modalities, and I love incorporating it in my soul recovery work. So briefly again, why we do it is we want to laser in, we want to focus in on those inarticulated, invisible memories of trauma and beliefs and emotions. So we're not just doing cognitive therapy where we're talking about the story over and over again. We're actually getting in and doing spiritual and emotional surgery, so to speak, on those aspects of ourselves that's holding us back and that's keeping us stuck. So I've gone over with you what it is, what emotional freedom technique is, the benefits of it. Another benefit of emotional freedom technique is it can heal your body, because when you heal your mind, you heal your body. And I've gone over why we do it. Our consciousness, the subconscious mind, the conscious mind, what's stuck there, calling it up to the focus, lasering in on it, and getting in and doing that deinstallation of that faulty programming or of that virus in your hard drive, doing that spiritual emotional surgery. You have the power to do this, all right? So that's why we do it. And now, how do we do it? So again, there are meridian points, acupuncture points, all over our bodies. We have like millions of them, right? But we only deal with like 5 or 6 of them, right? We deal with the karate chop, which I call KC, karate chop, all right? This is our setup point, where we're informing the subconscious mind of what we're getting ready to talk about, okay? We stay here for a few seconds, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. Then here's the eyebrow. I'll call that the inside of the eyebrow, but it's EB on your worksheet. Side of eye, SE. Under your eye, UE. Under the nose, UN. Chin, CH. ½ inch below your collarbone, right above your heart, CB, collarbone. Underneath your armpit, like right in the middle of where a woman's bra strap would be, right here. All of these are meridian points, and the crown of your head. And then I'll ask you at the end of each level that we're going to go through in the tapping exercise to grab hold of your wrist, which is also an acupuncture point, to inhale deeply, blow it out, and exhale on peace. This is taking you in deeper to that subconscious mind. It's helping you to release and come into the vibration of peace, your authentic self. From the soul recovery emotional freedom technique perspective, we deal with 7 levels of consciousness to deinstall the traumatic memories, the false limiting beliefs, and the self-sabotaging patterns. And those levels are: number 1, we deal with the effect, the problem, the pattern, the symptom, the addiction, which all means the same thing. It means what is the problem? What is the immediate problem that I'm dealing with in this moment, right? And for the sake of this teaching, we're going to call the problem, pattern, symptom, addiction, procrastination, right? So that's the experience, that's the problem, that's the pattern that we're having right now. Yes? So that's layer number 1. And then we're going to deal with, we're going to address layer number 2, which would be the emotions behind the pattern or the problem. The emotions that trigger, the emotions that are triggered because of the pattern and the problem, or the emotions that created the problem in the first place, because it works both ways, right? Our emotions create the problem and the pattern, and then the pattern and the symptom and problem re-triggers the emotion. So it's just this vicious cycle. So the next layer that we're going to deal with would be the emotions behind the problem, the emotions that created the problem. And in this wonderful teaching of looking at the laws of attraction and manifestation, our energy creates the effect. And so if your emotional energy is fearful, is fear-based and negative and traumatic, you're going to create more of those experiences, right? So we must address the emotions behind the pattern, the emotions behind the symptom, the emotions behind the addiction, or whatever it is that we're dealing with in the moment, okay? So that's the second layer, emotions. Behind that, the next layer that we're dealing with would be the memories, the painful memories of the past that created those emotions. The only way an emotion is created is because we are remembering something. We're remembering something or thinking about something that's either pleasant, or we're thinking of something that's traumatic and fearful, right? And so we want to go in there deep into that virus, and we want to acknowledge that memory of the past that keeps those emotions running and that keeps that pattern in place. So that's the third level where we're going to deal with, we're going to address the emotions, we're going to address the memories behind the emotions, and the emotions behind the pattern. Okay? Next level, we're going to deal with the beliefs or the perceptions around the traumatic memories that we hold. And this is the big dog, actually, because one of our master teachers has said, it is done unto you as you believe. It's not done unto you as you want. It's not done unto you as you repetitively affirm over and over and over again. It's done unto you as you actually believe. So we're going to deal with belief, memory, emotion, pattern, right? So each belief, we have a belief and a perception around a traumatic memory. The memory creates the emotion creates the pattern. Without all of that, you wouldn't have the pattern that you have. So we want to make sure that we're addressing this with our clients. This is a wonderful tool to support our clients, the healing of our clients. Okay? And then the next layer, once we've addressed the deep core erroneous beliefs that we have taken on as the truth about our memories and about whatever aspect we're looking at. Now we want to, in the next layer, we come to a place of total self-acceptance and self-love, where we acknowledge and embrace the patterns, the emotions, the memories, and the beliefs. But now we're saying, what if it's safe to let all of this go now? I acknowledge it, I embrace it, I see it, and now what if it's safe to let them go? You would be amazed, or maybe you wouldn't be amazed, that even when someone is aware that they are holding on to false, limiting beliefs and perceptions, how frightening it is for them and how much resistance comes up to actually let it go. Why is it so difficult to let it go? Because they have identified with these emotions, these beliefs, as being who they actually are. I can't tell you how many people I've worked with, and when it came time to release those beliefs and emotions, they were so excited about it, they were so hopeful about it, but they were also scared to death. It's like, who am I without being afraid all the time? Who am I without procrastination? Who am I if I really give myself permission to move forward? I don't know myself that way. So in this layer, or this level, we're giving ourselves permission to let it go now, to let go of these patterns, to let go of these emotions, to let it go, right? And even as we're tapping on it, you can feel yourself start to release, and we're going to do a little bit of that, which then creates access and the opening to that which is real. That which is real, which is your authentic self. Again, it has never been destroyed, but it has been blocked and it has been obstructed by the patterns, the emotions, the memories, and the beliefs. So once those are deinstalled or addressed or dealt with, well, what's left? You, the real you, joy, peace, confidence, empowerment, happiness, love, the truth of who you are. And then we tap on remembering that. We're not tapping that in, we're tapping on reinforcing that truth as our thinking, as our consciousness. Okay? So those are the steps to emotional freedom technique. So continuing with how we do it. How do we actually apply this technique or this modality to whatever problem we're facing, right? So first, it's important to have a healing journal, so that you're not only having an experience of this technique, you're not only guiding your client to have an experience of this technique, but you can actually track it. You can actually track it in your healing journal, right? So let's say, like I said, for the sake of this teaching video, that we're going to work on the symptom of addiction, the pattern of addiction, the experience of addiction. It all means the same thing, the external effect of the addiction. We're going to work on the pattern of procrastination, right? So the first layer that we're going to work on is on that pattern. And I'm going to show you exactly what it is that I'm doing. So you're going to raise the 2 index fingers to your dominant hand, and you're going to tap right here in the middle of your non-dominant hand, and that's called the karate chop. And you're going to say something like, even though I am such a procrastinator, I deeply and profoundly love and accept myself. I'm going to say this 2 or 3 times. Even though I am really suffering from procrastination and it won't allow me to move forward, I deeply and profoundly love and accept myself. One more time. Even though procrastination is really a problem in my life, and it prevents me from moving forward, I deeply and profoundly love and accept myself. When you grab your wrist, inhale deeply, blow it out, peace. And when you're saying I deeply and profoundly love myself, you're allowing such a level of self-compassion and self-love even in the midst of the problem, which most of us never do, right? So there's something very powerful about it. You're acknowledging the problem, you're acknowledging the symptom, and you're loving and accepting yourself at the same time. That in and of itself is shifting energy, right? And then you're going to go here. This is called EB, the eyebrow. We're still talking about the problem or the pattern. This pattern is letting your subconscious know, I am specifically talking about this pattern, side of your eye, SE, this pattern of procrastination under your eye. I've procrastinated all my life. Under your nose, I just don't know how to get over it. I just don't know how to move this pattern or to remove this pattern. Your chin, this pattern. Again, you're just letting your subconscious know this pattern, this symptom, this addiction of procrastination. Half inch below your collarbone, it's really ruining my life. It's keeping me stuck. This pattern. Underneath your arm, right in the middle of your bra strap, this pattern is affecting my life. It's affecting my work. It's affecting everything in my life. Still talking about this pattern, the crown of your head, this pattern of procrastination. Grab your wrist. Inhale deeply. Let go on the word peace. Just acknowledging the pattern. Something has shifted in my subconscious mind, right? And if we're doing this, if we're following this, something is just opening up. You're giving voice to this pattern, this symptom that is going on in your life, right? And then the next layer, we're going to address the emotions. Remember, the emotions create the pattern. You don't have to go back to your karate chop, to this. That's over. You've already informed your subconscious mind of what we're getting ready to talk about. You don't have to do that anymore. You go directly to EB, the eyebrow. All right, so you're tapping on your eyebrow, and now we're dealing with the layer of your emotions. All of these emotions around procrastination. All of these emotions, the side of your eye, all of these emotions of shame. I feel so embarrassed. I feel so ashamed about how much I procrastinate. Underneath your eye, I feel so angry and resentful and disappointed in myself. Look at how we're giving voice to all of those feelings that you've been holding on to that you didn't even know, you weren't even aware of, but now you're becoming aware of. All of these emotions. Under your nose, all of these deep core emotions of anxiety, of sadness, of mourning, of disappointment. Your chin. I feel so overwhelmed with all of this procrastination. I feel overwhelmed with everything I have to do, and I have no idea where to start. Collarbone, all of these deep negative emotions. No wonder I procrastinate. Under your arm, all of these deep negative emotions of anger, of rage, of feeling stuck, of feeling trapped, of feeling overwhelmed. We're just naming all of those emotions. The anxiety, the crown of your head, the top of your head, all of these emotions. Grab your wrist, inhale deeply, exhale on peace. So you've totally acknowledged the pattern, the symptom, addiction, problem, and now you've given voice to your inner child or that part of your ego that has forgotten its authentic self. You've acknowledged the emotions, okay? And again, just doing that, you're starting to create more of an opening. You're starting to gain more access to your authentic self, okay? The next layer, we're going to deal with the memories, the traumatic memories that created that emotion. Now, you may have many memories of procrastination. You may have many memories of a traumatic event that set the ball in motion of procrastination. So just think of one particular incident. This one particular incident, your eyebrow, this one particular incident, this one particular event I remember, side of your eye, when I went all out and I really did the best I could and I put so much work into this particular project. I practiced so much under your eye, and somebody told me, my teacher told me, my mother told me, my father told me, what's wrong with you? That's not good enough. And I was so disappointed. I was crushed. And somewhere along the line, I decided that I would never put myself out there like that again. Collarbone, this traumatic memory of being rejected, of not being good enough. No wonder I procrastinate. I'm so afraid of putting myself out there like that ever again. Under your arm, this traumatic memory. I remember now this memory. Top of your head, this memory. This traumatic memory. I remember it now. Grab your wrist. Inhale deeply. Exhale, peace. Just bringing that memory to the surface, giving it a voice, giving it some airtime, creates an opening, creates more spaciousness, right? So I want to say this before we move on to the next layer. So many people are stuck in emotional bondage because they attempt to do this spiritual bypass and get right to the affirmation or get right to the positive stuff without dealing with the mud underneath the positive stuff. And this creates a disconnect. This creates an incoherent wave. So we're not affirming these negative emotions. We're acknowledging them. We're giving them some airtime, and we're voicing them. We're not going to pull over and park here, but it's important. Just like if a little girl or a little boy, was outside playing and they skinned their knee, they fell down, they hurt themselves so bad. And they came in and they said, my knee is hurting so bad. Would you say, well, just get over it and know that, you're enough. Put on your big girl pants, put on your big boy pants. If you're a kind, compassionate person, probably not. You'd probably say, oh, wow, I understand that you're hurting. I see that your knee is bleeding. Let's go take care of that. And then we can get back to playing. Then we can get back to the business at hand. And so that's the same thing with emotional freedom technique. We're acknowledging that I fell down and I have a skint knee, and I need some stuff on it. I need a Band-Aid on it. I need some help to help heal it so that I can go back outside and play again. Right? So that's what we're doing here. We're healing the hurt so you can go outside and play again. We're healing the hurt so that your client can go outside and play again and live the fullness of life that is their divine birthright and their true identity. Okay? All right, so back to the next layer. We're going to deal with the beliefs and the perceptions that we created around this memory. So the memory of I put everything I could into this project, I did the best I could, and I was so proud of it, and then someone didn't approve of it. That might be factual. I put my heart and my soul into this project, and someone didn't approve of it. But the perception that I have around that experience is what's keeping me in pain, not the experience itself. The experience itself is in the past. But the perception that I created around the experience, the belief system that I took on, the false identity that I've taken on about myself because of the experience, is what's keeping me stuck and blocked from my authentic self. Yes? Yes. Okay. So now we're going to deal with those deep core beliefs. And some of these beliefs you didn't even know you had. But what tapping does is it supports us in bringing to the surface and bringing into focus what we have not heretofore allowed ourselves to be aware of. Okay? So now, these deep core beliefs, we're going to go back to the eyebrow, EB. All of these beliefs I hold about myself. I'm really not good enough. That's what I believe about myself. Deep, deep down inside, I believe I'm not good enough. Side of the eye, this deep core belief that I'm holding on to, that I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy of moving forward. I'm not worthy of being productive. I'm not worthy of feeling proud of myself. Under your eye. The last time I did that, it didn't go so well. That's what I believe. That's what I believe. Under your nose, this deep core belief that if I step into my greatness, people are going to reject me. They're going to abandon me. I might even get hurt. So I better not step into my greatness. That's what I believe. You see how much I'm saying believe here? Believe here? What you believe about that memory is creating the emotion, is creating the effect. Your chin, this deep core belief that I better stay right where I am, that it's not safe for me to move forward. Collarbone, and this deep core belief that I'm never going to heal this, that it's never going to be okay. Under your arm, all of these deep core beliefs in every cell that I'm holding, in every cell of my body, and in my deep subconscious mind, top of head, all of these deep core beliefs. Grab your wrist. Inhale deeply. Let it go. Peace. I'm starting to feel some tingling in my fingers, y'all. That means some energy is moving, right? That's what we want to do, is we want to move and we want to shift out the negative energy and make room for the positive energy and the true identity. Okay? All right. Now the next layer, we want to give ourselves permission to acknowledge and embrace and see and love this pattern, these emotions, these memories, and these beliefs. All right? So this is called total self-acceptance and self-love right where I am. All right? So back to the eyebrow. It's safe to acknowledge and to embrace all of these patterns of procrastination, all of these memories of this traumatic event. Under your eye, I'm embracing and I am acknowledging all of the negative, frustrating emotions I have around this. Under your nose, I acknowledge and I embrace these deep core beliefs that I've been holding on to. Your chin, I acknowledge and I embrace it all. Under your arm, and now that I've acknowledged and embraced it, now it's safe. It's safe to let it go. Crown of your head, letting go of this pattern, letting go of these emotions, releasing this memory, letting go of these deep core limiting negative beliefs, letting go. I don't need them anymore, letting them go. Grab your wrist. Inhale deeply. Exhale, peace. What I forgot to tell you in the beginning of this exercise is you want to rate, at the very beginning of this exercise, you want to rate yourself on a scale from 0 to 10, how intense, how severe is this pattern, how severe are the emotions, on a scale from 0 to 10, how severe are you, I just want to run it back just for a moment, because at the very beginning of this process in your healing journal, if I didn't already explain this to you, I want you to take this opportunity to rate the severity of this problem on a scale from 0 to 10. So before you start the tapping process, you want to rate yourself. How severe, how intense is this problem? Is it a 5? Is it a 7? is it a 10 in my life? And then you're going to write that down in your journal. And by the time you finish tapping and getting to that last part of acknowledgement, acknowledging the pattern, the emotions, the beliefs, and then letting them go, inhaling deeply and releasing on peace, thinking about the problem, thinking about my procrastination, thinking about all the problems that it's causing in my life, on a scale from 0 to 10, where am I now? Can I feel the difference in the energy? Am I still a 10? Or have I gone down to a 5? If I was a 5, have I gone down maybe to a 0? We definitely want to get you to a 0. We definitely want to get your client to a 0. And sometimes it takes going a couple of rounds with that, because the ego, the unhealthy part of our ego, that subconscious mind that thinks it's keeping you safe, right? When it says, I am never going to put myself out there again, because if I do, I'm going to get hurt. That's not a malicious intention. That's not based on a malicious intention. That's based on love. Underneath fear is love. Seeking to protect you from ever being hurt again, but this aspect of your consciousness is insane. It's insanity. It's trying to protect you from the very thing that is actually causing you harm. Okay? So we want to rate that on a scale from 0 to 10, see how intense it is, see how intense your resistance is. And then by the time we get to the end of it, you want to see if those numbers have shifted down to a lower number. If you're not able to get to a 0 immediately, do not be discouraged. We are dealing with an aspect of our minds that is cunning, baffling, and powerful, as stated in the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous. It is insidious, right? If it can't try to keep you safe one way, it's going to come in through another door and it's going to try to keep you safe that way. And so it's very important that we are diligent, determined, and sincere in rediscovering, recovering, and becoming aware of our authentic self. And so we keep at it until we get to a 0. Okay? So once we've gotten to that 0, because we've dealt with all of the other 6 layers of the tapping exercise, now we can begin to tap in and reinforce the positive affirmations, because now you're connected to your authentic self, and your authentic self is based in joy, it's based in love, it's based in empowerment, it's based in grace, it's based in good, right? Now you can tap that memory in. You're not tapping in these qualities because you already are these qualities, right? You're just tapping in, you're just reinforcing them. Now I remember who I am. Side of your eye. I am magnificent. I am greatness. Under your eye, I am more than enough. I am absolutely worthy of all the good that life has to offer. Under your nose, I'm empowered, I'm confident. Your chin, I'm clear, I'm centered. Under your arm, I'm lovable, I'm loved. Top of your head, I'm brilliant. Yes, I am. I am enough. Grab your wrist, inhale deeply, and exhale on peace. If you're feeling peace at this time in the process, let it breathe, let it be. You've done the work. And another wonderful piece to this work, which is a part of the 12 steps, is you get to now think of, who do I owe an amends to? How can I really reinforce this wonderful work that I've just done? Who do I owe an amends to? So there is an opportunity at the completion of this tapping exercise to take this work even deeper and to clear your energy on an even larger scale by making amends to the people who you believe have been affected by your pattern of procrastination. This just clears more energy so that you can tap into the authentic self that doesn't need forgiving, because there's nothing to forgive from that perspective. But from the human perspective, from the ego perspective, that's the energy that we want to clear up so that we can connect to the authentic self. So this is a powerful opportunity to say, wow, okay, who in my life have I affected because of this addiction or this pattern to procrastination? And then you go and you make that right. You make an amends isn't an apology. An apology is just based in words. An amends is an intention to bring that which is out of alignment back into alignment and back into the vibration of wholeness. So the tapping exercise and then making the amends. In the 10th step of recovery, it says we review our day and we make amends for where we have made mistakes. And a mistake is just where we've missed the mark, where when our activity has come out of that disconnected state, right? And so this is a very powerful part of the work to reinforce the powerful EFT, emotional freedom work, that you've just done. So that concludes part 1 of module 2. The next part of module 2 will be affirmative prayer, which we will have up in the classroom shortly. If you have any questions, I'm here for you. Peace and blessings. Great work.